Hey guys, in this video we will create a basic design system. Now before we start, why should you create a design system? The reason being is that a design system allows you to have one single place in which you can change typography, color styles and much more just in a few seconds. And basically in these basic design systems that we'll create, we'll be having a page in which we have all of the typography, another one in which we have all of the color styles, and regardless of the size of the project, if you have 2 screens or 200 screens, you can change the typography of all of the entire project in just a few seconds, which is an amazing thing, especially if you're working on large enterprise companies or even startups that just require you to change maybe the text or they want to go through a redesign or rebranding. You can do that in just a few seconds, which is amazing. So in this design system we will create the typography and color styles and also use these symbols, but feel free to go even further. In my personal design system, which is Inizio, I actually created like my personal and favorite framework for allowing me to work with multi-million-dollar clients with you know, all sorts of different fields and industries, but I'll show you exactly what are the tools for you to create your personal design system, which is tailor-made for you. So let's just jump into the video. Hey guys, so let's create the design system. So the way we're going to create it is by going on pages, and we're going to add 2 pages. The first one is going to be textiles, and the second one is going to be color styles. And basically what these pages are going to be the pages in which we can control all of the colors and all of the text of the entire project we are working on. So as you recall, in the last 2 videos we created these 2 dashboard screens. However, we haven't synced them into a design system yet, so that's basically what we're going to do right now. And you can do this earlier or you can do it more along the line in the process, but I like to create it once I first create the first pages. And the structure is going to be similar to Inizio, which is my personal design system, which you can download on UI8. And as you can see in Inizio, I have these color styles, which are the primary, secondary, tertiary, and so on. And basically we not only have the solid options, but the outlines too. So this is something to consider, and also the borders and the dark and shadows. So basically if I change something from this panel, it's going to reflect in all of the project. And the same is true for the textiles, and here we go. It's basically both the dark text on a white background and also vice versa. And basically what we're gonna do is going to replicate and create something very similar to Inizio. So let's go and actually apply this on this UI kit. So let's go over here on Artboards. Let's create a artboard. I'm going to make it around 1500 of width, and let's give it a height of, I don't know, maybe something like 2000. We're going to readjust that, so it's not really a big deal. So let's go ahead and create the text that will allow us to navigate through this. So I'm just going to start by creating the very bottom border, and let's use the text tool to create the headline. So let me change the color, and for this specific text, like, it's not really important to have it styled or formatted in any specific way, because it's just for our personal reference. So just don't worry too much about this. And I'm going to write here, it's gonna be the heading 1, and let's make it a little bit smaller too. Okay, and I'm going to give it a little bit of less opacity, so I'm at 70% over here. So yeah, I think we're in good shape when it comes to this, and I'm going to repeat it just a few times. And again, I'm selecting the entire group and using Alt plus I moved it, and then Command plus D in order to repeat this quite a few times. So let's go ahead and catch up with the last one. I'm also going to make it just a little bit higher, maybe add some lateral width to this. So let's go ahead and substitute the numbers. It's gonna be the heading 3, it's gonna be the heading 4, and basically here we're relying all of the main styles. Just consider that for this specific UI kit, this is going to be a reference, so don't be too strict with the naming conventions and all that. So I think I'm gonna use label over here, and then as you can see over here I have all of the headings from 1 to 6, then with the paragraph, primary font, secondary font, hyperlinks, labels, some smaller text, and then call to actions. We can update this on the go. Let me actually add the labels over here, and I'll have the paragraphs right below the headings, and I'm also going to keep these smaller text too, so that in this way we can have a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to certain elements of the design. So that's small text, and also hyperlinks, those are a must. Okay. Okay, so we're in good shape when it comes to the actual structure. Now let's go ahead and add some text. Let's duplicate this. And here we're going to create all of the styles. So it's gonna be heading 1. Let's change the transform. So let's actually go ahead in the web app, and let's think that for heading 1 we could consider having this one. So I'm just going to copy the style of this one over here, and this is gonna be heading 1 but the left version, so I'm just going to type in left. And let's do it like this. I'm going to duplicate it just a few times. It's gonna be center. This is going to be the right one. Now we're going to do this for pretty much all of the other textiles. Now in this case, the header 2, we definitely have it over here. And guys, if you have a web development experience, and just bear with me on the header 1s and 2s. I know that there are some technical issues that can arise, and you know, there's some things to consider, but this is just a UI kit with no real like, we're not really looking to develop this, so this is just for reference. We're doing this for fun, so don't be too strict on which one is which As long as you learn the concept, everything is going to be pretty fine. So, and especially if you're working on a client project, you always want to speak with the developer and have these things sorted out between you. Simply because it's always good to be in line when it comes to styling, because most likely they're going to set these as CSS styles that will, like, general CSS styles that will repeat throughout all of the pages. So yeah, I mean, just something to keep in mind. Okay, so, or actually one thing that we'll do to simplify our life later on is going to be we're basically going to change the we're going to change the parentheses over here, and we're going to use the slash. And the reason why we're doing this is going to become apparent in just a bit, but just bear with me on this. It's going to help you save some time. So in case you're wondering why we're doing all this, this is basically the steps that are required for you to create a design system. You don't necessarily have to do it in this exact order. This is just the way that I found it's the easiest way, at least for my personal workflow. And I would recommend you to consider doing the same, especially as you're learning these new concepts out. And then, once you create your first design system, it's going to be easier. So yeah, just consider that it does take a little bit of a learning curve, but at first it might not seem as easy, as straightforward. But trust me, once you actually get into the gist of it, it's not that bad. And the skill set that you will learn are going to be invaluable throughout your design career. So yeah, I mean, I always encourage designers to learn about design systems, to use them, and yeah, I think it's a pretty cool way to level up. And so over here we're going to do a few things, a few different variations of this heading. And let's change this heading to heading 3. This is going to be the green version. Okay, we're also going to duplicate it just a few times. So again, guys, we're just laying out the foundations over here, and the final result will become more apparent as we just lay down these basic foundations, just things that we have to do. So yeah, just bear with me on this. By the way, as you can notice, I'm using shortcuts like all of the time, and I basically created custom shortcuts in order to make life easier on myself, I guess. And you can do that easily from the system preferences. I also shot a video on this, so feel free to check it out. And it's on my YouTube channel under the sketch basics playlist. So yeah, and over here you have to create a bold version of these. Let's actually do something, and let's just distribute evenly these. And again, guys, I would strongly encourage you to do it as a first time, to really learn the processes. But I mean, you shouldn't really be doing this like often, because the idea would be for you to have a framework that you can work on. Like for myself, over the years, I designed Inizio in such a way that I don't have to do this process all over again. All of the time I'm working on a client's project. I'm a big fan of automation and not repeating things that aren't necessary. So yeah, I mean, it's great to do it a few times to learn the process and what it takes, but I wouldn't recommend you to do it all of the time, because it's just not worth your time at a certain point. And so for example, you want to onboard a client, let's say it's a client that's doing 1 million revenue. You just want to onboard them, and once if they don't have anything in place and they're looking forward for a design system, you can use a design system framework to speed up your work when integrating the new designs. But yeah, like doing it over and over again, it's probably not the best use of your time each and every time. So I hope this is pretty clear actually. So let's go ahead and see for the heading 4. I think we could use some of the previous styling. Let's use the team members one, though those are actually labels. So I think that for now we'll just keep the labels as instead of using the heading 5s. So let me copy up the labels. Let's do over here label. Guys, just bear with me for just a few more moments as we are creating this design system for the textiles, and everything is going to become much more clear in just a moment. So just bear with me on this. Now let's copy the styles of the paragraphs, and I think that we have two of these. There's or actually, yeah, I mean, so far we just have okay, the small text and the paragraph. Okay, that's totally fine. That's even better. All right. So for paragraphs, I usually like to have two styles, the one which is regular and a bold version, which can always come in handy, and most likely you're going to use it if you're working on a project which is at least a medium, at least at a medium amount of scale. So yeah, I think let's go with bold over here. And so great, we have pretty much everything. The only thing that we're missing is the small text, which we are adding right now. So basically at this point, as you can see, we're not doing much really, apart from just laying out all of the styles that we used or that we'll be using. And once we have everything ordered in a neat way on this page, we can actually start making the magic happen. So let's go ahead and change this to small text. Change this one as well. Okay, so we're in good shape, and as you can see, we're still missing some parts of the design system, some textiles, and the reason being is that we're going to create this UI kit. Since this is a series in which we're going to create this UI kit from scratch, and we are just at page 2, screen 2, we will add more textiles to the design system as time goes on. So basically, this is just a starting and reference point. So yeah, I mean, at this point we have pretty much all of the textiles that we need really, and so we can actually start renaming the layers in a way that will allow us to create this, to add these textiles. So let's start from this one, heading 1, heading 1 center and heading 1 right. We have to check that the left is going to be left aligned, the center is going to be center aligned, and the right is going to be right aligned. And so far so good. Now the second thing that we have to check is that the layers on the left are going to be named in a way that allow us to create a nested version of this textile. So by that I referring to the fact that I will batch create the textiles, and basically the way I'm doing it is to use this plugin, which is Styles Generator. Now it's very easy to find. Just go on Google and type for Styles Generator SketchUp. You're going to find it right away. You simply have to download the plugin. It's just like every plugin, super easy to set up. In one click it's up, and once you see it over here under plugins, Style Generator, so again, just go on Google, Styles Generator for Sketch, you're gonna find it like right away. And then once you select all of these and they're named correctly, you can simply go under here, generate shared styles. And as you can see, there is this notifications that 3 styles were created. And where do we find these styles? It's very easy, it's on the right. And you can see, or actually my screen recording is cutting off some part. So let me do like this, and let's go heading 1. You can see that we created 3 styles, center, left, and right. And you can check them out. You can see all the textiles that you have on the page by just clicking on organizing textiles. And as you can see, boom, we have them. Now, the reason why I told you to add these slashes instead of the parentheses is exactly for this specific reason over here, because if we didn't have these slashes, I will basically won't be able to see the nested center, left, and right. But since we do, it's we can actually create this nested version. It works exactly like symbols, so we can even create like more options available out of this. So if, for example, we did something like heading 1 slash bold slash center, we would have one more option to browse through, and we're going to explore that in just a second. So let me get the view right again, and we're going to do the same with the heading 2. So, or actually, instead of going on one by one, which can take us some time, let's just rename each and every one exactly like we want. So in this case, we have the heading 3. We have a few variables because the heading 3 not only has a few colors, but it has a few weights and different font weights. So we're going to create a structure which is something around these lines. Heading 3 slash it's going to be either regular or bold. Let's say regular slash, then here we're going to use the color and slash the alignment. So if it's going to be left, center, or right. So again, heading 3, this is going to be the same for all of these guys. The regular or bold, which is actually the font weight. Font weight is going to be either regular or bold. Even though here it's regular and here it's light, we can actually just change the nomenclature how we prefer when browsing through the textile, so it really doesn't matter. Third option is the color, so if it's going to be green, red, or black, and the alignment. So let's go ahead and do something that will allow us to have an easier time changing all of these. And we're going to use this plugin, which is a secret weapon of a plugin, which is called rename it. So yeah, basically if you download rename it, this will allow you to rename these selected layers. So one thing that I will do over here is I actually have a custom shortcut, so I can access rename it just like this, and I'm going to rename all of these to header 3, then I will add a slash. I will click on rename, and as you can see, each and every one of these layers are going to be renamed exactly heading 3. Now let's go on the second layer, which is the font weight. Now I'm going to select only the ones which are light, and I'm going to go and rename it. Use layer name. So basically, rename it once you select layer name. It's going to just maintain the layer name, and I can just go on and add light and add a slash. You can rename it, and as you can see, each and every one of these now it's heading 3 slash light, which is pretty cool. It's super good to save time. And I'm gonna do the same here, which is going to be a layer name, then regular and slash, like this. So this is just a very fast way to rename everything, and we're gonna do the same now with the third step, which is the colors. Let's go ahead, layer name, then this is going to be green, slash, rename it. Let's go ahead over here too, and layer name, slash, red, or actually, let's go over here, red, and then slash. Don't get the orders wrong like I just did. So let's go over here, layer name, and black. Okay, perfect. So now we just need the alignment, which is going to be the easiest part, and we just have to go here, layer name, and then left. Let's select all of the center ones, layer name, center. Select all of the right ones, layer name, right. So as you can see, we managed to do a lot of renaming work. in a very short amount of time and in a very easy way. Now let's go back to the styles generator. Let's generate a new style, and bam, we are basically having or actually why this let me try this again. Okay, so here we go. We basically have actually I'll need to stretch out this a little bit more, and as you can see, heading 3 we have light or regular, and within light we can choose if it's black, green or red, and then at the last point we can select if it's center, left or right. So you can see that all of these nested layers naming will allow us to have a lot of flexibility when it comes to creating the actual style. So we have everything organized and set in a very easy to follow way. So here we go with the right, the center and the left of the heading 4. We're going to do exactly the same, and let's actually rename all of these directly. So in the case of paragraphs, we just have 2 variables. It's gonna be easier. Let's just rename everything to paragraph slash, and then we're going to have 2 options, which is the first one. We're gonna rename these guys over here with regular, and these guys over here are going to be layer name and bold. Let's go and select all of the left, layer name left, select all of the center ones, layer name center, and all of the right ones, again layer name and right. Now when it comes to the labels, I think everything is set. One thing I might do is to just actually let's just leave them like this. Same is true for the small text. So I'm just going to select all of them and include the heading 4 and heading 5, which we haven't really tweaked, but are just going to stand there as a way to for us to modify in the future. So generate shared styles, and boom, we are in business. We have all of the textiles available, and this is a very easy way for us to work on the text part of the design system. So let's go ahead here. I'm gonna adjust the screen, and we are officially in business. So now the next thing that we're going to do is to actually go ahead and implement the design system inside the web app. Now let's go ahead and add the right part of the design system in the text. So in this case, I'm going to use a plugin which allows me to see all of the similar text, and this plugin it's called select similar layers, and I'm gonna select font and color, so that's okay, and I'm going to use the paragraph, the bold version and the left. Now the design will change a little bit, but you know, that's fine. It's not like a big deal on my part, so that's just how it is. Now let's run this again. Paragraph, regular, left, and boom, we are in business. Actually, let's make the paragraph just one step smaller. Okay, it's gonna be 13, and we're gonna update the textiles so that it will reflect in all of the textiles over there. Now I'm going to do the same with the labels. So I'm gonna select all of this and go under label and left. Sorry if you cannot see perfectly the right area, but you know, it's pretty much what we did earlier on. Or actually, this is not label, this is a small text. Okay, that's good. And let's go ahead here, and I am going, actually let me do like this so that you can see the whole process. And I go here, light and left. And I think we duplicated 2 times the negative. So I think we can just delete this one. And okay, so let's go ahead here, left. Oops. So this one is the green, left. And we are in good shape. Okay, this one, since we used that plugin, we didn't need to update it since it already been selected. But these guys over here, just gonna use that plugin again. So it will select font and colors. This one is also updated. That's very good. It's very good indeed. Now I think we're all going to skip these ones for this specific project, guys. Just a lot of unnecessary work for these specific ones. I'm gonna use the textile over here. Let's go with center. Okay, we are in good shape when it comes to symbols, and you know, in one of the following videos I'll also show you how you can adjust the symbols and make them much more organized in the page. So let's go ahead here and let's select this one over here, and let's run font and color again. Basically, we are selecting all of the heading 2s, or actually we didn't sync in the heading 2, so let's add those to the design system. And again, just go on styles generator, generate styles, and we are in business. So let's check again, heading 2, perfect. We're gonna use the left, and we are good. We're actually we had a 80% opacity, so yeah, I'm just gonna select it again and change the what happened here, not too sure about it. Oh yeah, I understood. So yeah, let's just use select similar layers again. Let's use font and color, assign it to heading left, heading 2, and I'm going to make this heading 2 just a little bit lighter, and I'm going to update the textiles so that it will update automatically in all of the text. Now I'm going to do the same also for the heading 1s. Let's select all of these, and let's use center, and over here I'm going to select these ones too. And I use the custom shortcut in this case for using that plugin to select the fonts. And I think these ones are labels. Yep, they are indeed. And let's just give it a quick save. Now we have the labels over here. This one is synced. Let's check these ones. And you can see if they are synced or not by just clicking on them, looking under the appearance. And it's going to be pretty evident from the start, because you're gonna have something that which is your text design system. If not, you're just going to see this no textile message. So I think you're good. Now the way you test it out, it's actually pretty simple. You just select all of the textiles, and I'm just going to select them just like this. I'm doing custom selection so that I don't get these other guys, and I don't want to lock them at this time. And let's change the color, for example, to something like red. And let's update the textiles in the entire design system. Now, as you can see, the textiles have been updated all to red, and this is a way to see if the prototype is working. And boom, as you can see, we're pretty much covered. So let's say that 3 months from now you want to change the entire typography from Lato to Avenir or to whatever type you want, or maybe you want all of the heading ones to 6 to become bold, or you want to change the color of the entire process. Basically, with the design system, you can do all of this in a very easy way. Now again, we didn't update some of these. Simple reason is that I want to keep this video practical for you, and I wanted to show you all of the tools and how it works. If you want, you can go on into all of the minute details. Since this is not a client project though, it really doesn't matter. It's just for exercising and practicing and showing you exactly how you can create a design system that allow you to create extremely scalable projects, because in this case we have only 2 screens, but you could have 400 screens, and the same concept applies. I had projects with 100 screens, and we needed to do some major typography updates and revisions, and we managed to do them in a very short amount of time. If you don't set up a design system, you need to do like major updates, it's gonna take like so much time. It's a very tedious and boring process. Now, it's not great for every company. If it's a very small company, you always need to maybe work lean and agile. Maybe a design system is not the right investment for them. But once things get serious about scalability and wanting to have like a custom solution which is very flexible, design system can be amazing. Now I want to end this video here because we were focusing purely on textiles in this video, but in the next one I'll show you how we can set up the color styles, just like you see here in Inizio, so that you can do the same for the color styles and have an extremely scalable project that will allow you to impress your clients, or just have like a very automatized and scalable way to work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a part 1 of 2 of the design system. So if you're interested in learning more about this design system, the color styles, and also we're gonna talk about the symbols in the next one, feel free to check out the following video, and I'll see you there.